Within the last hour, San Antonio police releasing this body cam video from a shooting last month. It happened in the 3200 block of West Martin Street.
The two officers involved here say they got a tip that someone in the area was suspected of robbing stores. When officers arrived, they saw 29-year-old Alejandro Vitella riding his bike. When Vitella was confronted by police, he said, "I have a gun. I'm going to shoot you." Vitella reached for his waistband and one of the officers fired, killing Vitella.
A further investigation revealed that Vitella did not have a gun on him and was not the person suspected of robbing stores. It's the third shooting in 2 months involving an SAPD officer.
Are we just waiting for more tech or what's going on?
What's going on? Tonight, a new report from the New York Times adding more questions to an already long list in the wake of the shooting at Robb Elementary. That Times investigation highlights the failures of not just the school district police chief, who's taken much of the blame, but several other high-ranking officers who were on the scene.
The New York Times released video they analyzed from officers with the Uvalde Police Department. We have team coverage on that report tonight. Our Lee Waldman standing by in Uvalde with reaction from parents of those children who waited for help for 77 minutes.
But first, let's go to RJ Marquez in the newsroom for a breakdown of the video that's in this report. RJ, you've looked at the video. How would you describe what was happening?
Yeah, Steve, I think it's more of what this community has been feeling for months, frustration, anger, and this report only adding to more confusion surrounding that day. Another key takeaway is also how it details how former Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo was not the only one to blame for what happened. The New York Times reported there were multiple failures from high-ranking officers, experienced DPS troopers, to even federal SWAT specialists. The report found that there were major gaps and contradictions in the way that DPS reported the police response to the shooting. DPS Director Steve McCraw mostly blamed Arredondo for the officer's response, but the Times reported there was not much evidence to prove Arredondo was giving commands or what he was saying was being communicated. Arredondo was one of the first officers at the scene, but by 12:12, the New York Times reported that Bortak was in control. This video shows how several officers reacted to hearing there was a 911 call coming from a child inside the classroom and still did not take any action.
Hey, who's in charge of task?
It's gonna take time.
We all need bangs.
You got gas?
They're
bringing gas and bangs.
We got victims in there.
There's victims in the room with them?
Yeah, child on the phone, multiple victims.
A child just called that they have victims in there. We called 911.
9 minutes after that video, it appears as if the officers are going to attempt to get into the classrooms after the gunman starts shooting again, but they stop in the hallway. The Times reported why they stopped after more shots were fired was unclear.
Hey, let outside know what's going on.
Hey, let them know what's going on.
Beckel, tell them what's going on out in here. Make an entry.
Yeah, again, very difficult video to see here, and we now know that officers did not enter those classrooms until 28 minutes later at 12:50 p.m. to finally shoot and kill that gunman. Steve and Myra, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Today's report deepening wounds in Uvalde for families who've been fighting for accountability and justice for 141 days now.
141 days. Lee Waldman in Uvalde tonight. And Lee, those parents expressing fresh anger here. Another wave of grief for them.
Yeah, so many of these families have said it feels like one thing after another, one fight after another. Today's report is a prime example of why they won't stop fighting. Amory Jo Garza's mom, Kimberly Garcia, tweeted about her baby girl today. She wrote, quote, "To the people who failed my child and those babies, I'm so glad you have your family. I'm so glad you get to go home back to your children because we don't. All I have gotten back from that day is her backpack with bullet holes, jacket, and her tiny gold hoops earrings. Not her," unquote. In another tweet, she went on to say her daughter was braver than all of those, quote, cowards. After this shooting, we learned from another one of the surviving children that Amory was killed as she called 911 for help inside of that classroom. Her bravery has been honored by the Girl Scouts. The parents' outrage was mirrored by Senator Roland Gutierrez. He wrote there are more inconsistencies and lies from DPS, tweeting, quote, "We demand answers and accountability now. The public and the Uvalde families deserve the truth," unquote. Brett Cross, Uzziah Garcia's guardian, said that they should all be fired and not allowed to work in law enforcement. Again, he said that cowardice and stupidity could not be trained out. Live in Uvalde, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
All right, we're going to keep following that story. Thank you, Lee. A man and his stepfather in court today on trial for a deadly shooting that happened back in 2020. Both decided to have their trials take place at the same time.
Erica Hernandez with the evidence shown to the jury today.
It was December 8th, 2020, when 24-year-old Josh Fowler was shot outside a home in southeast Bexar County. A few days later, 3 people were arrested and charged for Fowler's murder. Husband and wife Williams and Jennifer Blankenship and Jennifer's son, Lane Wooten. Williams, Blankenship, and Wooten now on trial for this murder.
Gretchen Slater for the state.
When the trial started, the state chose to waive opening statements, not giving much information as to what they would be presenting in this case. But the first to testify was the first responding deputy on the scene the night of the shooting.
He is breathing like heavily right now.
While Deputy Andrew Delgado was on the stand, several 911 calls were played to the jury, including one from Fowler's friend trying to give him first aid.
He's on his stomach, he's not breathing, nothing. I cannot get no pulse.
After the calls were played, Deputy Delgado said what he saw the moment he arrived on scene.
I'm driving, it's extremely dark, like he stated earlier, it's not well lit.
And when you got to the actual location, did you see 2 males on the ground?
I saw 2 males on the ground, yes.
His body cam footage shows Fowler on the ground and that friend who called 911 trying to apply pressure to his wound. Several witnesses were at the scene and are expected at some point to testify about what happened that deadly night. As for the other co-defendant on this case, Jennifer Blankenship, she chose not to have her trial at the same time. She will have her trial on a later date. As for Williams, Blankenship, and Lane Wooten, if they are found guilty, they are facing up to life in prison. At the Kennedy Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
We are learning troubling details about a former San Marcos police officer charged with felony family violence. Arrest warrants obtained by KSAT Investigates show 36-year-old Kyle Lobo accused of a string of assaults, including allegations he headbutted his wife and kicked an 11-year-old boy. The woman told a Hays County Sheriff's investigator earlier this month that she was assaulted by Lobo 5 to 6 times since the start of this year. Lobo resigned last week amid the allegations and was dishonorably discharged.
You may have heard the phrase, a cycle of violence. That means generation after generation, those who are abused either continue to become victims or they become violent themselves. It's a big topic right now during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. A strong survivor tells our Courtney Friedman she believes the cycle can be stopped, and she's doing that right now.
I was in a domestic violence relationship. It got really bad really quickly. I almost lost my life. One of my children almost lost their lives.
When Elizabeth Regino finally escaped, she began to learn about domestic violence and its vicious cycle.
I have 4 little boys. To me, it's so important to be able to break that cycle with them.
She did that by immediately putting them in counseling and getting a counselor herself.
Because if I couldn't recognize the triggers and if I couldn't recognize what is unhealthy and what's a red flag, then how am I supposed to carry it on and teach it to my kids?
We are the product of everything that has been modeled to us.
Family Violence Prevention Services CEO Marta Pelaez says it's crucial to understand domestic violence is not just physical, it's emotional, psychological, verbal, financial, or sexual. Since all of those can become generational, the answer is to look inward.
What can we as parents do in our relationship that may be impacting the children? What can we do to change some of those things before they create more harm?
You don't have to do that work alone. There are programs, books, and support groups for both victims and abusers who want to break the cycle.
It's never too late to move forward, and it's never too late to change your parenting style.
Regina wants the community and school systems to know they too play a part in teaching healthy relationships and reporting potentially dangerous ones.
It can be stopped. You just have to make the choice to make it stop.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
If you're interested in parenting programs, Family Violence Prevention Services offers a Parent's Journey class. Metro Health offers a positive parenting program. There is also a batterer's intervention program called BIP for people who need to stop their abusive behaviors. All that information on our website, ksat.com. Just look for this story.
Check out traffic. on this Wednesday. 92 degrees out there. This is 281 at Basse, and usually it's heavy, especially in the southbound lanes. It's pretty heavy in both lanes right now, but no major backups to tell you about, which is good news on this day.
Not so good, that step outside this morning and that humidity that hit all of us. Man, it's back, Adam.
I did get up early, well, early for me today, and walked out expecting, some refreshing temperatures.
Not so much.
No, not so much.
Now, they will be coming, okay? We just need a little more patience, have to get through several more days. But today, we were 10 degrees above average with a high of 94. And 5 degrees shy of the record of 99 set back in 1991. And right now, temperatures still in the 90s around here. There actually is a cold front off to the north of us that's moving into town this evening. Some 80s and 70s behind that front. Midland at 80, Abilene 84, Lubbock right now 78. This is going to move through tonight, but not have a big impact on our temperatures. It could kick off a stray shower. And right now, in the I-35 corridor from Austin, between Austin and San Marcos, a few pop-up showers, and even near New Braunfels, one just recently popped up. But we're talking highly isolated and brief, a 10% chance through about 10 p.m., then clearing. The next cold front will be more potent. We're going to feel that by Sunday night and especially into the next week. Best news, rain chances are on the rise. I'll tell you when our best shot is and how much we could get in just a bit.
San Antonio today, one of only 3 U.S. cities to welcome a delegation of nearly 70 Ukrainian business and community leaders.
Their visit was arranged by Ukrainian San Antonio and the city of San Antonio. Jesse DeGollado says they came to see what business leaders here could do to help Ukraine's battered economy that could also be mutually beneficial.
Scarred by war and threatened with worse doesn't exactly make for the best business environment. And yet Russia's brutal tactics are why it's said free enterprise is still alive in Ukraine.
Tremendous support from all the businesses from all over the world, helping us to build our businesses. There are a lot of employees,
including those in San Antonio. It's what brought a Ukrainian business delegation to a meeting set up by Ukrainian community leaders here and the city of San Antonio. Not only Chicago and San Francisco, but the Ukrainian delegation came to San Antonio not only because it offers promise and opportunity. City Council's liaison to Europe says its compassion is just as well known.
How could we support them after this is over or through this, right? To help them get through this. And so that's why we thought that it was important to bring in the business community now.
And it's really unfortunate what's going on, and we support Ukraine 100%.
If Russia is defeated, some say it could be a way to overcome the carnage and destruction by rebuilding Ukraine's economy.
So we are open for opportunities now.
They need us. We need them.
Take cement, for example. With more federal infrastructure dollars on the way, more communities are going to need plenty of it. Come to find out, someone at the meeting said Ukraine has plenty to sell.
He's like, I can help transport all of the cement you all need. But that's the type of opportunities that we need to be talking about.
More of the kind of supply and demand economy that those here say Ukraine considers as its model.
Helps us understand where we should go.
Jesse DeGollado, KSAT 12 News.
Look outside with Sky 12 flying above the Japanese tea garden this evening. Maybe not the best day of the week to be out there. Still not too bad, but we got the promise of better temperatures coming our way, Adam.
Yes, we do. And if you really want that fall-like feel, just be patient. Wait several more days and it's going to arrive and it's going to be here and you'll notice the changes. Until then, till we get into Monday, it's going to be more of the same. Feeling hot for this time of year, but there will be a change in the humidity tomorrow. That's the nice thing. This weak cold front moving through tonight is dropping a shower in New Braunfels right now, and it's going to sweep away the humidity for tomorrow. And then much cooler by next week, by Monday. And with that next front, the second front, and some upper level support, rain chances are on the rise. This is what we like to see. Take a look at our rain chances. This is very important here. Sunday afternoon and evening up to 40%, so scattered. Then we boost it to 60% Sunday night through Monday. Slow moving front and some upper level support helping us out. Some more numerous showers and even thunderstorms are likely at that time. Let's start with the overall pattern, and it's been quiet across Texas. Again, a few brief little showers from that cold front that's moving in. One right now over New Braunfels. That's it. Otherwise, they're short-lived. And we've got Tropical Storm Carl, southern Gulf of Mexico. That's headed due south away from us, not going to impact our weather. Upper-level swirl, this upper-level disturbance over Los Angeles, that's actually going to head our way slowly. It's going to take its time to get here. That's going to provide some upper-level energy, some upper-level lift, and even a little bit of Pacific moisture to combine with our next cold front that hits us Sunday night. And together, combined, should mix together as a pretty good recipe for showers. So here's a look at our future cast, and I'm keeping this view very wide because it's still very far away, but it is even on board and showing more numerous showers and storms developing Sunday night, and off and on throughout the day on Monday. There's 4 p.m. on Monday, and just showers basically coming and going is what the forecast is looking like right now with these ingredients mixing together Sunday night through Monday. And we could see a quick 1 to 3 inches in parts of our area from those showers throughout the day on Monday. 93 right now. Let's talk temperatures and some changes coming our way. Dew point is 62, so still humid. That's going to be changing. You look at the temperatures right now across the state, and behind the cold front, some 70s and 80s. That cooler air is not going to be moving into town. This cool front's going to drop in and basically stall near us, and our temperatures aren't going to be falling off really at all when it comes to highs with this cold front. The next cold front, that's going to have an impact. But right now we're Hondo 94, 93 officially at the airport, New Braunfels 95, and Seguin at 92. Tomorrow morning, here's what you can expect. 60s for most of us. Rio Medina 62, as cool as 59 Bulverde, Bernie, and Comfort. Meanwhile, Converse 66. And then by the afternoon, we're back in the low to mid 90s. Bandera 93, along with Seguin, 92 officially in town, and Stinson on the south side about 94. More of the same. Upper 80s, low 90s for high temperatures all the way through Sunday. And then the bottom falls out. That next cold front will be a heavier hitting cold front with high temperatures in the low to mid 70s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So big drop from going above average back down below average. So a big temperature swing, bit of a roller coaster on the way. Temperature whiplash with that second cold front. Dew points now largely in the lower 60s. We feel some mugginess out there. Again, with that cold front that's moving through tonight, all it's going to really do is sweep away that humidity. Notice this trend, the downward trend in the dew points tonight and especially throughout the day tomorrow. So tomorrow, low humidity, a bit windy as well, and northeasterly wind at 10 to 20 behind that front, and at time gusts to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. 65 at 7 a.m. By noon, we're 88, 92 the high temperature. And then, as I mentioned, those temperatures really fall off by next week, so you'll feel that more fall-like air and that crisp air next week. And the nice thing is, with the transition, the slow cold front, some upper support, right now it's looking good for rain. And of course, we'll be fine-tuning the details as the days go by, so check back in.
Yeah, lots to look forward to there. Thank you, Adam.
All right, remember when we thought the AT&T Center wouldn't be called the AT&T Center anymore? Mm-hmm. Hold the phone. AT&T not hanging up yet. Greg.
They are not. In fact, they're extending it, but just for 1 year. And we'll tell you why when we come back after this, because the original deal, the 20-year deal that paid them $41 million, was set to expire this fall. And what do the Roadrunners think about being heavy favorites again? Coming up. The Spurs have confirmed that AT&T has agreed to extend its naming rights to the Spurs Arena owned by Bexar County for the coming 2022-23 season. The original 20-year deal that paid the Spurs $41 million overall and about $2 million a season was set to expire this month. And now this move allows the Spurs to extend their search for a new naming rights partner, although terms of the one-year deal were not disclosed. Our San Antonio Spurs finally got their first win in the preseason when they were able to beat the Utah Jazz on the road in Salt Lake City. It didn't hurt that Keldon Johnson made his return after suffering a dislocated shoulder before training camp began. And on his birthday as well, as Keldon turns 23 on Tuesday, and he celebrated by getting into the lane for the bucket. Keldon from behind the arc for 3 of his 10 first quarter points. He would score 22 on 9 of 13 shooting. Josh Primo making his preseason debut as well. Check out the crossover, I should say, to get into the paint. Gets the basket to fall and the foul. Trey Jones finds a cutting Jakob Poeltl, and he throws down the jam. Spurs are going to win this 111-104.
I felt good. Man, I was just happy to, be back out there with my teammates. I've been watching them through training camp and barely getting to, go up and down with them and watching them play a couple preseason games and not being able to be out there. So just being back out there, being a leader once I get out there, making my teammates better and, you know, they did an awesome job tonight. I feel like we moved the ball. I don't know how many assists we had, but I feel like we moved the ball really well. We shared the ball, and we played some great defense. I feel like it's room for improvement on defense, but I feel like we set the tone with defense. And I feel like if we do that and move the ball and just play together as a team, I feel like we'll be in good shape.
All right, preseason ends tomorrow at 7 against Oklahoma City. When the UTSA Roadrunners face Florida International on the road this Friday night, they will be 33.5-point favorites. The last time the Roadrunners were that heavy of a favorite was a game against Texas Southern, where they were 44-point favorites. The Roadrunners would win that game 52-24, but as you can see, they didn't cover. In fact, that they were only up by 4 at halftime until they outscored Texas Southern 31-7 in the second half. Doesn't make it more difficult for the Roadrunners to stay focused when they're that heavy of a favorite.
Not at all. You know, we have the same mentality every week, so, you know, we just have to make sure that, you know, we just keep it level-headed, fly low, you know, because anything can happen. It doesn't matter what's happened before. It doesn't matter how, you know, what they went through or what we went through. You know, we just have to keep a level head and just keep going forward.
All right, kickoff Friday night set for 7 p.m. When the Texas Longhorns host Iowa State this Saturday morning in Royal Memorial Stadium, they will walk into that game as 2-touchdown favorites. That despite the fact Cyclones beat the Longhorns last year in Ames 30-7. In that game, Bijan Robinson was held to 90 yards, not a single touchdown. Hudson Card was only able to throw for just over 100 yards and 1 TD as well. Now the Horns are coming out their biggest win in the history of the Texas-OU rivalry, 45-0, with a quarterback they did not have last year in Quinn Ewers, who threw for 289 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Bijan Robinson contributing another 2 for 130 yards on the ground. Doesn't give the Horns more confidence going into this rematch.
We know the scores. I mean, we know the scores. I mean, last year, I mean, we lost this team. They handled us pretty well. So I mean, we're never going to forget that. But I just like to focus on, you know, what we got going on as a team. We're playing with the chip on our shoulder, obviously. You know, last year didn't go the way that we wanted it to. So, you know, this year, you know, we have a chance to do some really cool things. But we understand that, you know, we just got to take it week by week.
All right, kickoff announcement on Saturday is at 11 a.m., so you have to get up kind of early to make the trip up there to see the game.
Yeah.
Or party at night, one or two,
or
your choice.
Stay up,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back. Another day of relentless Russian air assaults in Ukraine. The deadly missile strikes bringing renewed condemnation from the White House and world leaders. They continue to say that Russian President Vladimir Putin will be held accountable for his actions.
President Biden also weighing in during his first TV interview since Russia's new escalation. ABC's Justin Finch tracking the latest from Washington.
Parts of Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, ravaged after 3 consecutive days of Russian rocket attacks. The widespread assaults battering Ukraine's critical energy and water infrastructure. Military experts saying Russian President Putin's recent attacks on civilian targets smacks of desperation, and his repeated threats to use tactical nuclear weapons can't be ignored. During an interview on CNN, President Biden addressing those concerns.
Once you use a nuclear weapon, the mistakes that can be made, the miscalculations, who knows what would happen.
Despite that, the president doesn't believe Putin will launch a nuclear attack. Still, at NATO, leaders say they are closely monitoring Putin.
We continue to watch indications and any type of warning that he may have made a decision to go in a different direction.
In Zaporizhia, continued aerial attacks by the Kremlin, raising fears of a nuclear fallout. Reactors at Europe's largest nuclear plant now running on backup generators after Russian attacks knocked out critical electrical power. Ukraine's prime minister warning power and heating cuts could be necessary if Moscow's strikes continue. And new concerns at the Ukraine-Belarus border. The Belarusian defense minister confirming his forces are working with Russian troops there in what Belarus is calling a response to actions near its borders. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Abortion is a key motivator for U.S. voters in the midterm elections. A new survey finds about half of registered voters in the U.S. say they are more motivated to vote than they were in previous elections. 3 in 5 women ages 18 to 59 say the Supreme Court decision is a motivator to head to the polls next month. Nearly 9 out of 10 voters say that a candidate's positions on issues they care about is a major factor in making a decision. Abortion is on the ballot for at least 4 different states.
If it seems like prices surged last month, you're right. Today, the Labor Department reported that the U.S. Producer Price Index rose at an annual pace of 8.5% in September. That is down from 8.7%, but the report showed that prices jumped 0.4% month over month. To try to bring down decades-high inflation, the Federal Reserve has been hiking interest rates at an unprecedented pace. But there are concerns that those rate hikes are happening too fast and that it could soon lead to a recession.
Now to the extraordinary twist in the murder case behind the Serial podcast.
Prosecutors in Baltimore have dropped all charges against Adnan Syed after he spent 23 years in prison. They say his case is now over. ABC's Rena Roy with the latest.
After spending more than half of his life in prison, Adnan Syed is now a free man. All charges against him dropped.
The results of the DNA testing exclude Adnan and confirm what Adnan and his supporters have always known. Adnan Syed is innocent.
Syed was once a convicted murderer and the subject of the wildly popular podcast Serial.
This is a prepaid call from
Adnan Syed.
He was interviewed by Prison Phone for the podcast and always maintained his innocence for the 1999 murder of his high school ex-girlfriend, Hae Min Lee.
I mean, no way, I had absolutely nothing to do with Hae's murder.
Prosecutors ordered Syed's release last month. A judge overturned his murder conviction after a year-long investigation revealed 2 other possible suspects and accusations that former prosecutors withheld crucial evidence. Modern DNA testing of new items at the crime scene also revealed no DNA from Syed.
Our review of the case quickly turned from making a mere sort of recommendation for release to a reinvestigation into a claim of actual innocence because there were major sort of red flags.
Syed seen in this video after his release, eating leftovers at home for the first time in decades.
What are these? Those are dumplings we got yesterday.
He's now off house arrest without his ankle monitor.
He's just kind of been enjoying his freedom, eating whatever he wants whenever he wants, and lurking on social media and learning to use a laptop and things like that.
The prosecutor would not say if those new DNA tests have implicated the 2 other suspects in this case. Hae Min Lee's family now beginning yet another painful chapter in this process as they once again seek justice in her murder. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Teenagers across San Antonio responded to a survey asking about their mental health. It is the first conversation to improve teen mental health the city's had. Project Worth, a city-run teen empowerment program, surveyed more than 800 young people. Nearly half of teens say they felt numb or helpless. At least 28% reported suicidal thoughts. The biggest stressors reported, school and COVID-19. The written responses in the survey say there is not enough access to mental health resources and limited education on how teenagers can care for themselves.
It's good that we're breaking the stigma and finally talking about it because the data, it's really true because we're actually answering questions that aren't typically answered or asked before. So it's good that we're starting to have this conversation.
We have links to the survey and other mental health resources on our website, KSAT.com. United Airlines plans to expand its transatlantic flying next summer. United's summer 2023 schedule will include 3 new destinations: Dubai, Malaga, Spain, I don't know if I said that right, and Stockholm, Sweden. The airline said its transatlantic schedule 10% larger compared to 2022, 30% more than in 2019. And United also says it is redoubling efforts to prevent a repeat of the chaos that travelers to Europe experienced this year. Understaffing at European airports produced misery for travelers, including hours-long lines at airports from London all the way to Amsterdam.
Microsoft unveiling its most expensive Surface computer yet. The new 28-inch Surface Studio 2 Plus desktop computer will set you back around $4,300. And if you add one of those digital pens for on-screen drawing, they can go up to $4,500. The new desktop has an Intel Core H35 processor, 50% faster performance, and an updated chip for faster graphics. It also has an updated display, cameras, microphones, as well as that on-screen drawing capability.
After the break, a new playground being built honors the memory of a child who lost his life in 2018. We're going to get a first-hand look at the playground and the unique features it has for the community. Next. Another step closer to the creation of a giant pirate-themed playground honoring a local boy who drowned in 2018.
Tiffany Huertas takes us to the site of Mitchell's Landing Playground with a look at the unique features there that kids will get to enjoy.
Mommy, it's been 4.5 years, but every day you cry because you still miss him so much. Because he was so much love and happiness.
There's not a moment that goes by that April Chang doesn't think about her son Mitchell. In February 2018, the 3-year-old passed away from drowning at his swim school.
You think of him actually in good ways, in such warmth and happiness, and you find ways to bring him still in your family.
But April smiles today because a project in his memory is moving forward.
He would be beyond enthusiastic. He would be so excited.
The foundation work is underway for Mitchell's Landing Playground.
He loved pirate toys and swords and hooks, and he wanted to be a pirate when he grew up. That was his aspiration in life. We decided we wanted to honor him when he left us by bringing fun through a pirate-themed playground.
The free public playground will be located at Class and Steuben Ranch Park in the 20,000 park of Hardy Oak Parkway.
Mitchell's family says he loved including everyone when he was playing and having fun, and that's what this park is all about. It's inclusive.
We have the inclusive whirl, which is a merry-go-round, but it's actually built into the safety ground cover level. So you can use assistive walking devices to roll onto it easily.
The playground is set to open in April 2023. And April says Mitchell would be all smiles seeing the community come together.
He would just love that so many people can come here and enjoy it.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
What a fitting tribute.
Yeah, that really is.
For a
So
young
many
boy.
kids will get to enjoy that.
Yeah. All right, 91 degrees outside. I was complaining earlier that I thought October, April are my two favorite months in San Antonio because, you know, in the 80s, kind of start to feel a little crispy.
Not yet.
Usually, maybe mid-October this year.
Okay, all right.
Not necessarily the whole month, okay? We don't have to consider the whole month, but there will be some changes down the line. Now, low humidity tomorrow. A weak cold front is hitting us right now, and we actually have just a few showers to talk about. I'll show you the radar. We'll zoom in a little bit. Much cooler next week. That's what Steve's looking for. And then rain chances are on the rise as well. We'll time that out for you in just a bit.
We're in full-blown pumpkin spice season, but hey, straight on to a holiday boozy drink, apparently. An Eggo-inspired cream liqueur. The holiday liqueur is a partnership between Kellogg's Eggo, made and crafted by distillery Sugarlands Distilling Company.
The Eggo Nog Appalachian Sippin' Cream is a rich rum-based liqueur with cinnamon and nutmeg. Eggo Nog will be available in select retailers nationwide throughout the holiday season, and you must be 21 and older to purchase and to say, "Let go my Eggo liqueur."
The jar looks cool.
It does.
Well,
a company says it's created a plant-based fake meat that's like a filet mignon. Good Food Institute says its juicy marbles filet mimics the marbling effect of protein and fat.
Okay, the ingredients may be where things fall apart, though. They include soy protein concentrate, sunflower oil, beetroot powder, and yeast extract. A 4-pack of 4-ounce fillets costs $30. A winner has been crowned in this year's Fat Bear Week contest. That is a thing, apparently, in Alaska's Katmai National Park and Preserve. The 2022 champion, a bear known by just a number, 747, marking his second victory in 3 years.
The contest, a week-long celebration of bears gorging themselves on salmon at the preserve in preparation for winter hibernation. Based on initial results, there were more than 900,000 votes during Fat Bear Week.
Fat Bear Week? What?
The title seems kind of harsh.
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
I've been following it on.
How about bulking up Bear Week?
I've been following it on Instagram all over the place. Yeah, it's great. There are all these trail cams. The Voyager's Wolf Project, which is a wolf monitoring project in northern Minnesota. They had a bunch of pictures of the big bears getting big.
Yeah,
it's that time of year. These are things that excite me.
Yeah, it's nature.
It is.
I mean, you know, it's what happens.
Exactly.
We're about to take a big nap.
Yeah, big long nap. All right, take a look at our rain chances going forward. I like what I see. Sunday, we're up to 40% late in the day, then increasing to 60% Sunday night and throughout the day on Monday. Right now, a few showers out there along the weak cold front that's moving in, most of them between Austin and Bastrop. One just moved through New Braunfels, especially on the north side of town. It's hard to see because the radar site is right here in New Braunfels near the little airport there. And when it rains right on the radar, you think that would be perfect, but the beam looks sideways. It doesn't look straight up. So you don't really see the signature from that. And I know some folks being affected and impacted by that downpour, but hey, you're lucky. You're the lucky few. Remember that 10% chance we were talking about? You're looking at it. We just had it in Bulverde, and now that little shower has fallen apart in Bulverde, one little dot left, not even just east of 281. That's it. Could we see another brief little quick splash and dash? Yes. Otherwise, the rest of us will have clearing sky. And we really could only see this for the next hour or two, and that's about it. Here's the big picture. I want to look off to the west, this upper level circulation, this upper level disturbance over Los Angeles, that's going to be headed our way. It's going to take its time, though. So we have this one cold front moving through tonight, then the next cold front late on Sunday, combined with this upper level support that's moving our way. Together, they should work together nicely in harmony to help bring us better rain chances late Sunday and especially throughout the day on Monday. So I like what I see here in terms of the ingredients being there. It should all develop, and that's why we've increased those rain chances. Here's our futurecast. We're fast forwarding to midnight on Monday, so we're talking Sunday night into very early Monday morning. It looks like the rain's going to likely overspread a good portion of Texas, even our neck of the woods, and then be intermittent in nature throughout the day on Monday. So likely a damp morning commute on Monday and even potentially a damp evening commute on Monday as well. The reason that it's more prolonged is that this cold front that's going to be moving in Sunday night, Monday is going to be very slow moving front and slow-moving upper-level support, helping to prolong the rainfall. That's the nice thing about it. Let's talk about temperatures. Behind our current cold front, well, we've got some 70s and 80s in West Texas and the Panhandle, but around here, we're still talking 90. 90 in Rio Medina, 93 officially at the airport. Port SA, Westside 93, Stinson right now at 94, and 88 Canyon Lake. Tomorrow morning, some upper 50s in the hill country. Kerrville, Comfort, Bernie, about 59. Elsewhere, we're in the mid to upper 60s, and then by the afternoon, back in the lower 90s. So even Canyon Lake 91, Converse 92, Gonzales 94, Uvalde 93. Officially in town, we think about 92, and that's pretty much where we're going to be all the way through Sunday. But then by Monday, the temperature drops off behind that next cold front. We're talking low to mid 70s for highs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Dew points right now in the 60s. These dew points are going to fall off behind this cold front. The dew points are going to really come down here throughout the night and especially during the day tomorrow. By tomorrow afternoon, very dry air in place. So we start the day tomorrow at 65, then we make it up to 92 for the afternoon high, low 90s through Sunday, then the big changes come in next week. By the way, you'll notice a gust out of the northeast tomorrow at times around 25 miles per hour. So a little breezy tomorrow.
Yeah, so Monday, Tuesday, we'll be complaining it's too cold.
That's going to happen.
I will not, I promise. At least not yet.
Okay. In case you missed it, coming up next.
It is Wednesday, October 12th.
Just before 8 this morning, police say he was driving on I-35 near Fisher Road. When the driver tried switching lanes, he ended up sideswiping that officer. The officer turned on his lights, got the driver to pull over. That's when 6 to 10 people jumped out and started running. More officers tried chasing them down in a nearby wooded area, but no luck. The driver, though, is facing hit and run charges with possible human trafficking charges to follow.
I will not say farewell, but ask you to join Tracy and I in seeking to protect nature and taking our humanity to a higher level. Thank you.
Judge Nelson Wolf with his final address, his final State of the County address to the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce.
He spent a total of 32 years in public office, which will officially come to a close on December 31st.
Closing arguments were heard yesterday in the trial of Nicholas Cruz, who pleaded guilty to shooting and killing 17 people, 14 students and 3 teachers on Valentine's Day 2018 at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High. The prosecutor insisting that execution is the only appropriate punishment for Cruz. The defense asking instead for a life sentence, calling Cruz, now 24, broken.
9-year-old Tiger just made his New York Comic-Con debut. He showcased his unique talent on the show floor, creating vivid drawings of cartoon characters. Tiger is mostly nonverbal, and he expresses himself through his art. Tiger has picked up a new skill, drawing upside down. Above all, Tiger's parents say they want him to develop his craft.
You'll notice the wind tomorrow in lower humidity. Some gusts out of the northeast up to 25 miles per hour, but still unseasonably warm, low 90s, and that's going to be the case through the weekend. Next cold front, Sunday night, more impactful, feeling fall-like next week. Good rain chances with that, too.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you on the Night Beat at 10.